Well, there, Scott Spann from my sailboat office here in Sausalito, California, on a really beautiful blue day. Bit of wind, but otherwise it's just a great, great day. This is one in a series of videos I'm doing for leaders around a topic I'm calling effortless leadership. And you're going to hear me say this time and again, I'm not using the term effortless leadership as something idealistic or pie in the sky. I actually think it's extremely practical. We simply can't keep working harder and harder and expecting to get better results or different results. In fact, most folks working harder are actually, their results are tending to taper off, and it's simply not sustainable. We can't keep doing that. And there are ways when you know what it means to work with what it means to be human and with how systems operate, instead of against what it means to be human and against how systems operate, that actually enable you to lead with effortless ease. And I've actually experienced it, and so have my clients. So this particular story is about a way that we help make that easier for a leader in the digital music industry. There was a company that I won't name, I've had to sign NDAs and things like that, that was moving into Europe and Japan with a digital music service offering and a digital music product. And they wanted to do so in a way that made sure that they could lead the digital music industry in Europe and Japan. So there was a table of about 12 of us, and folks were going around describing the kinds of initiatives they were going to engage in, the strategies they had for ensuring that they could lead the digital music industry in those places. And when it got around to my time at the end of the table, I was asked, what do I think of these different strategies? What kind of feedback or comments do I have or questions do I have? And I did have one question, and it was, does anyone understand the structure of the digital music industry? And there were understandably some sort of a long pause and some blank stares, and then I described to them what I meant by the structure of the digital music industry. And I said, well, if you want to lead something, then do you know what it is you're going to be leading? What are the components of it? Who are the different players and actors in it? What are the relationships between those different players and actors? And where are the optimal places to engage in that industry to actually lead it? So they asked me if I could actually construct something like that. And I said, yeah, give me a list of people that really understand the digital music space. And so I took about 2 weeks and modeled this out. And I'm going to share with you just at a very high level how I modeled that out. So if you wanted to lead the digital music industry, there are 3 ways you could legitimately say you're leading it. One is you could be the thought leader. The other is you could be the experience leader. And the third is you could be the revenue leader. And if you were leading in any one of those 3 ways, one might reasonably say, I'm the leader. Ideally, you're a blend of those things so that you have a really strong, stable, well-balanced portfolio and position in the industry. If you go a little deeper here on the thought leadership end of things, there's the one that's leading the digital music conversations. Or you could be the one that's anticipating the experiences yet to come, and that's typically what the thought leaders do. If you're on the experience leadership at the end of things, you could be, you could have the device leadership, you could have the distribution leadership, or you could understand the different digital music environments where people are experiencing the music. And if you're on the revenue end of leadership, then you've captured the greatest amount of digital music mind share, you have the greatest number of followers, and or you've got the best revenue model for that. And then you can continue to go deeper and deeper and deeper until you sort of complete what does that whole structure look like. I'm not going to walk you through this whole thing, but if you're over in the thought leadership space, there are things over there like DJs and garage bands and, like Rolling Stones magazine are over there in the thought leadership space. If you're in the experience leadership space, there are different kinds of devices. There are particular environments. Is it a wedding? Is it a party? Is it a big event? What are the different environments in which you'd want to experience digital music? And if you're in the revenue leader space, especially in the revenue model, do you have a device revenue model that's working, and do you have a music revenue model that's working? So you're kind of down inside of the nuts and bolts of those things. So here's what was the value of this. The value of this is once we had a clear layout of what the structure of the digital music industry looked like, we were able to go back around the table and take each one of those strategies and say, okay, where do those different strategies hit inside the structure of the digital music industry? And are we overloaded in one area, or are we balanced across, or do we have complete voids in some part of this? And if we're doubled up someplace, then which of these best suits this? So we can redeploy our strategic resources and our strategic spend in the places that would give us the greatest lift. We're also able to do things like analyze this kind of a map and find out where are the true leverage points in here, and put our money there. So it gave us quite a bit of advantage about thinking about how would we actually lead the digital music industry. And it didn't take hardly any time or money at all. So what were the lessons learned from this? Well, if one is trying to lead in their industry, then what's the structure of industry leadership? What does it physically look like? It does exist in physical reality. It shouldn't be that hard to map it out. And then once we understand that, then what do we mean by lead if we're going to lead a particular industry? And there are different ways of leading, and there might be higher leverage ways of leading to ensure a longer term position in a particular industry than other ways of leading. And once we've got that, then let's engage in those decisions about, reality-based versus opinion-based strategies. Because so many of the strategies that came out around the table simply happen to be different people's hammers seeing everything as a nail. They weren't necessarily well suited to what we were trying to accomplish in that particular venture. That's it for this session. I hope it was helpful to you. If you're listening to this anywhere than scottspann.com, head on over there, leave me a comment, give me a like. Don't like it. If you don't like it, let me know what you didn't like. Let me know the kind of complex problem you're trying to solve. What would make your life more effortless for you? And if you'd like more of this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe. In the meantime, I hope this finds you thriving today wherever you are. Take good care. Bye-bye.